Well, here we go again. A little different one here. We're gonna wander back to the shed in the old backyard here, because I bought something new. Now the lighting in here is poor, very poor. However, I've got a light here. Let me show you what I bought and what we're doing. I don't know how many of you fellers or ladies out there like to ride snowmobiles, but I do, and I just picked this old girl up here. It's a 2004 Firecat F7, and what makes this one cool is, if you'll notice, it's blacked out for the most part, and that's because this is what they call a Nightfire edition, and they only made these for what I know 2 years, 2004, 2005. Nope, maybe 3 years. Maybe they didn't make it in 03. So I believe any of you out there can correct me maybe on that, but yeah, I've wanted this thing for a long time. It was a buddy's dad's, and it's got this nice pouch here and the windshield bag and all that stuff, and I do already have a Firecat, which is sitting over there. However, that's an early build 04, meaning it still has an ethanol switch and a 10-tooth driver and some other goodies, but I wanted a Nightfire. So here we are. We've got our Nightfire here, and these slides, or Hyfax, or whatever you want to call them, are pretty much shot. So in order to replace these, if you didn't know, you can fit these through the track. It's a little bit tricky, but you can do it. So essentially, you loosen your big nut here, and then if you look through the back side, you might be able to see it right here. There's a bolt that runs clear through with a nut right here, and you get a wrench on this nut and spin this bolt, and it allows these wheels back here to move forward and loosen the track. So for any of you snowmobile enthusiasts that have never done your own work on them or are interested how this works, that's how it works. There's not a ton to do in these, but you know, we've never had a snowmobile on the channel, so what the heck, I figured I'd record some of this. Madison's out here keeping track of the neighborhood, making sure nobody hollers. So anyway, once you get that all loosened up here in the front, there's a screw that comes up through into this cavity. Sorry about all the shaking, with a nut on top. And it looks like this. Oh, people are walking by with a dog, that's why. And once you do that, you can take this and start sliding it towards the back. Now when you put these in, they'll butt right up to this piece, which that's a little bit loose. I might try to tighten that up. But you gotta line it up with the track back here so that when you're sliding it back, it goes through the track. Yeah. And that's all there is to it. You slide your old one out and measure it and cut your new one to the same length and slide your new one right back in, put it back together, do the same thing on the other side over there, and you're done. Anywho, the whole goal here is simply replacing these, and sometimes you might need to give it just a little extra motivation. So we've got a flathead here, and we're just going to put it through the track-ish area here, and give her a little bit of motivation. And like I said, make sure your track is lined up in the back. And I know you guys can't see diddly what I'm doing, But once you get her moving, she'll slip right through the back. Hey, check this out. You guys watch right back here. And I'll try to tap this thing forward and get it moving through that hole in the track there. Kind of sounds like it's starting to rain. You can hear it on the tin roof of the old shed here. Is it moving? So once you get her up to the track, you can go through and just give her a little tweak to get her through. Give her a couple more love taps up to the front here. Come back here again. It's a little tricky to get it started. But once you get it started through the track, you're in okay shape. It's easier with two people. You can have somebody back here directing traffic. And you can kind of screw around with your track too, get it set up just right. Ouch. Not used to working out here in the shed on the ground. It's a little bit different. We making any progress yet? We getting her through. Making it through yet? She's starting to. And it's tight to get through the tracks, so just keep that in mind. But she's starting to get through there. Oh yeah, she's through now. I don't know if you'll see it very well. It's underneath that lug. I'll give you a look from back here. You'll see it come out right down here between the stand and that lug. She coming through? Oh yeah. Once you get it far enough, you can go back there and grab it and just pull it the rest of the way out. Which we're not quite there yet. We got to keep tapping. But when we get to that point, I'll show you. All right, she's right here. Not quite far enough to grab hold of it and really give it the tug quite yet. So we're going to keep working it out towards the back. And hopefully here soon, we should be able to grab hold of it. And when I get it out, I'll show you this one versus a new one. And how wore out these things are. Let's see if I can grab a hold of it now. No, not quite yet. Don't quite have the grip strength. If I put a plier on it, I might be able to get it out. But we'll knock it a little bit farther forward. Get it off of the curve of this slide rail here. And that should help us. That should help us out a little bit. And you'll find that when you do this, these inner lugs on the track, when you get in between them, it kind of makes it difficult. Let's see if I can get hold of it. No, not quite. Yeah, let me grab some pliers and I'll grab a hold of that thing and slide her out. Okay, let's see if I can get a hold of it here. Try to get it down between the... Oh! There we go. All right. Let me go outside here where you guys can see. Kind of a gloomy day today. Crazy dog over there. Yeah, it's pretty gross out. So anyway, here's our old one. And it's just basically a T-shape that fits over your slide rail. And then that's where the screw goes in up here in the front. The new one's on the right and the old one's on the left. Can you see how much thicker the one is on the right? And if you look really close, see that line right here? That's basically your wear indicator. When you start getting close to that, you're pretty much out of Hyfax. But this is just a smooth surface that resides between the steel. These are steel. Sits between the slide rail and the steel on your track. And when you're riding in snow and it's wet, it creates the friction barrier there. And that's why they wear out. So anyway, I'm gonna get this one started back in after I measure it and cut it. And we'll get this side done. We'll move over to the other side. All right, we're gonna start putting the new one in. And remember, when you get these things, they're set up different. This one's got 2 holes in the front, and then it had 1 hole on the opposite end. We wanted the 2-hole side towards the front. All right, well, you can see right here, we've got her starting to come through the old track. And just give her a little bit of effort there. And then when you get it here to the back side of your rail, that's when you're gonna get it fit on the T. Right like so. And then you just slide her on forward. And try not to push your snowmobile off the stand. You know what I mean? You can even get out a little dead blow and give her some tappies. Because once you get it, you know, so far, all you gotta do is just keep on feeding it. And also, I wanted to mention, when you get it and you start up here coming around this corner, you have to make sure your track stays down so you don't hook it. You know what I mean? So we'll keep tapping her forward. Just working our way up here. Track down a little bit if you can. Okay. And that's all there is to it. Just keep her rolling. And this is why you have to loosen your track. Because if you don't, it's so tight up here, you're never gonna get this thing out. So just kind of, you can even put a screwdriver across or something in the track like that, just to hold the track down to make sure you can get it around that corner. And yeah, like so. And just keep her on moving. And then once you get so far and it gets caught up in your lug back here, see how it's kind of underneath that lug? You can get a little flathead like so, and kind of be careful, put it on the thick part of the Hyfax, don't put it up on that T part or whatever. And just knock her through. Be good to go. Okay, now, whoops, you can see if your screw is going to line up with your side rail. Oh yeah, there she is. So before you raise that all the way up, get your nut put in there. Like so, and you can just hold on to it. Put your wrench on your nut, and then just screw up into it. There you go. That side is installed. Go over to the other side and repeat the process. Well, progress update. New one's going in on this side. Old one's out. It was in bad shape too. So we're gonna just keep tapping this one in. And it's also pouring rain now. So that's lovely. That's okay. It's not cold out, luckily. Yeah. So I'm going to keep beating this one into position, and I'll update you when I get further. Okay, well, both sides are done. And as you can see, I marked where this nut was sitting so that I can get the tension back on the track that was there, but we'll check it. Obviously can't leave it like this. It'll ratchet and everything else. It's too loose. So we tighten this back up with these bolts here, right here, and the nut. And this is a 13 millimeter, same with this. So we'll grab 13 here, and it's a little bit wonky to get in here. That feels pretty good, actually. How's this side feel? This side I'm going to loosen just a little bit. It's kind of hugging this one side. You can see between the slide and the side of your lug on the track. You just try to make it the gap here even between the two sides, and that'll kind of let you know that you're equally adjusted, if that makes sense. And that looks pretty close. And you can kind of feel too if one side's a little bit tighter than the other. I think that should be pretty all right. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I thought there was a lock or like a little wire or something that goes through this. I don't know. I did put some fluid film on the threads. Get that nice and snug down. There. That should be it. Should be about all there is to it. Also, when you have it up like this, check all your bogey wheels. Make sure they're all in good shape. I've got a loose one that I have to order, but yeah, it's basically dark out now. But anyway, that's it. quick short one. Kind of a little cheat. I'm sure a lot of people do it that way, but might save you a trip to the old snowmobile shop. Who knows? God, this thing's pretty. I just love these Nightfire ones. They're just so awesome. And it's a Snow Pro, so it's got remote reservoir shocks and all that stuff on it. So anyway, hope you learned something there, enjoyed, and we'll see you in the next one.